Well, a couple of theories floating around because of some of the severe weather we didn't see this weekend. And as we make our way closer towards summer, with this week being the official start, getting a better idea of hurricane season and that La Nina effect we're going to see this year. Now, that held a lot of those storms off towards the west, but we're looking at that high pressure we saw last year make its return, and that's what's helping us get all the way back up into those triple digits. Now, we cooled off pretty normal down into those upper 70s. Then we made a good 30-degree run up into those hundreds, and now we're going to cool off, and we'll see just how cool it gets if we drop back down another 30 degrees because we're under the influence of that high pressure. 105 here in San Angelo. Everybody else in those 90s and not Ozona finally making their way up into those triple digits. But I think San Angelo might be the hot spot right now as things are drying off under this high pressure as it slides its way down the Rocky Mountains right now. 94 in Sterling City, 97 down there in Junction. Of course, 105 here in San Angelo. Looks like about 10 degrees between here and Sterling City. But we're on the cool down right now as everybody sort of comes into alignment with some of those hotter temperatures as we make our way into the pretty pleasant evening. Now, the humidity indices are all over the place. We see some of those single digits off to the northwest, holding on to about 40% down there to the southeast. And we're going to see a lot of that severe weather really just hang out more towards the east, making its way around Dallas as we make our way through the weekend. Really just takes one small week before we start to see some of that severe weather move off. Now, the upper level pattern, take a good look at this high pressure. That's going to build in right over the four corners, if not get even stronger as we make our way closer towards this weekend. But this low pressure is going to create a blocking pattern that could drop us down a couple degrees as we make our way into the weekend. But we're definitely holding on to some of those hotter temperatures, and that's where you're going to see it all June, where we're seeing some of those warmer temperatures off towards the west, really encompassing that high pressure we just talked about. When we look at the water vapor, we can see where some of that moisture is really going to target this area, and we get a good idea of this low pressure system making its way in, but it's not going to affect the Concho Valley. In fact, when we watch the water moisture tracker, we're going to see as that frontal system makes its way up into the Dakotas and pushes off towards the east, where we're still seeing a lot of that dry, severe weather hang off towards the Dallas region as we make our way in towards this weekend. Of course, we're looking at those above normal temperatures and, of course, above normal rainfall falling right in that area that they have predicted, while we're seeing below normal rainfall off towards the northwest near Montana, where a lot of that low pressure is pushing its way in. Now, here's the severe weather outlook following right along with that rainfall, and then we get a good look at the satellite. It's falling right in the area it needs to, while it's targeting parts of the Panhandle and parts of East Texas right there along the Louisiana-Arkansas border. We're watching a lot of that high pressure and that frontal system make its way across the Rocky Mountains, but it's going to dry out before it actually gets here. We watch the future cast as we see a couple of these clouds making their way, and watch as these storms really rip through the area and to the south. Now, we're going to continue to hold on to some of that cloud cover and those humid conditions, but we're still holding on to those triple digits. You can see what's left of that frontal system that's going to make its way down from the Rocky Mountains as we get into Wednesday, and we're still just going to be holding on to some of those high clouds and those dry conditions as we make our way closer in towards Father's Day, with it only being 2 weeks away. So tonight, dropping back down into those 70s, and that's pretty much where we're going to stay the rest of this week, pretty comfortable in those 70s. Then tomorrow, right back up into those triple digits. So good breaks, lots of water, and sunscreen, Haley, as we make our way closer towards that weekend. We're going to watch those temperatures really stay in those triple digits, with a good opportunity, again, watching that low pressure system drop us back down to the 90s. But get a good look at those lows, really just getting comfortable in those 70s all week long as we continue to deal with some of this heat. Stay tuned. More after the break. You're watching KSAN News.